friends, welcome to the kitchen. Today we are talking about first of the year dramatic play setups. I have a question for you. Is your dramatic play center your favorite part of your room? Is it your favorite center that you have? Or is it a nightmare? Honestly, I've had both experiences. As you know, I absolutely love dramatic play. And I know that it's the heart of my classroom right now. It's what I choose to do first. It's usually how I plan the theme or the lessons that we're learning. So it's a big part of my classroom, but it hasn't always been that way. It has been nightmarish at times where I just haven't had it planned out correctly. I didn't think through it. My kids weren't behaving. It was kind of a chaotic mess. So I have been at both places, but now I know dramatic play can be the jewel of your classroom, and it's an awesome experience for learning and growing with your little ones. I have 3 mistakes that we don't want to make for the very first of the year when setting up your dramatic play. Now, I am going to refer to the beginning of the year because this is traditionally what I set up at the beginning of the year, and I know a lot of us are getting ready or preparing ourselves for the beginning of the year. However, if it's not the beginning of your year when you are watching this, maybe you are pulling your hair out and you just don't know what to do because your dramatic play is a hot mess. We have all been there at one time or another, so no worries. It's just time for a reset. We need to refresh, reset, refocus. So take it down, close it for a week if you need to, it's okay. Then do some planning to be ahead of the game and avoid these mistakes. Mistake number 1, starting with unfamiliar themes. I have done this before. I was like, woo, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna make this fabulous dramatic play set, dinosaur cave or an astronaut station. All of those things are great fun to have in the classroom. But at the beginning of the year, you want to start with something very familiar with the kids. The kitchen is a great one. The home center with the baby dolls and things like that. Very simple because most children can identify with their home or with the kitchen. Yes, you can introduce new vocabulary and build on the things that you're learning in the dramatic play center, but keep it simple. Beginning of the year makes it all that much easier for you to change out your themes as you go through the year. Mistake number 2, adding all the things and all the materials. For instance, at our school, we have a gigantic bucket of toys that are for the kitchen. All the fruits and the vegetables, all the plates, we even have napkins and hats and like chef hats and aprons and things, just an abundance of things, which is great, which also is a great reason to start off the year with a kitchen because most preschool, early childhood programs, kindergarten classes have food. They have the plastic food or wooden food. I think it's one of the staples that is in every early childhood program. So you don't have to worry about adding too many materials and so forth. I am going to share some of those things with you today, but I'm not a big advocate of you going out and spending your hard-earned money. I just have done it over time because I've been doing this for a long time, so I add to it every year. So wherever you are in your journey of teaching, don't feel obligated to have to reinvent it and go buy all the materials. Be thrifty and be smart with what works and what doesn't work for you. I have a very simple kitchen setup in the classroom at the beginning of the year. And actually, this is the very first year that I actually had a kitchen with the refrigerator and the stove and everything. But before that, I had to use shelving and things. Just as a disclaimer, I am set up in my basement because I'm not at school right now. It is summer break. So I'm using the things that I have at home. So I am a little bit limited, but also I'm using some of the shelving things that I have used in the past in the classroom before. But shelves I always think are actually easier because they can be manipulated and rotated and turned around and things, all for your dramatic play area. So if you don't have that kitchen in your classroom, don't worry because there are some easy fixes. A mock setup and it's minimal, so it doesn't really have all the things that I put, but actually it does have some of the things that I would definitely put in the beginning of the year. This is my kitchen set, and these are my printables, and this is a free product, so I will link that below. So if you're interested in doing the kitchen and you want to get yourself started, go ahead and click that link, download these materials, do your cutting, laminating, all that stuff, so you'll be ready for the beginning of the year. Would be awesome and amazing. So you can see that I have some labels. Will help your kids when they are putting away things and cleaning up and so forth. But you can tell, I think it's really important to be minimal. We don't want to have too many things in it. You can see in here, I've only put in 3 fruits, and I leave it that way on purpose. I also try to pick out fruits that they can figure out right away. Like this is an orange, pretty simple, an apple, things that they may have seen around the house and they already have that vocabulary built in. In a day or 2 or 3 days, depending on my classroom and how my kids are doing, I will start adding more, maybe a few more fruits and vegetables, but really I think 3 to 5 is actually enough, because if you have 3 to 5 of those and then you have 3 to 5 vegetables, perfect for you to help out. This helps them when they're sorting and cleaning up, because the vocabulary for knowing fruits compared to vegetables, your kids probably will not have that. Maybe 1 or 2 of them might know, but this is a way you're going to build upon it during cleanup time. And it's way easier to manage for you or your assistant or the kids in your classroom if there's only 2, 3, 4, 5 things in each box, so that they kind of know. And if you want to make it really simple, you have 3 in each, so that after they have 3, you could say, okay, you found all the fruits, now let's do vegetables. So that would be a great way to practice counting and for them to see it. But remember, start with small numbers. Less is more. I also have some meats and some breads and things. There are some more labels in this set. There's a pasta and a sweets, because who can't miss out on the sweets. I do have a table set up in my classroom so they could set the table and do all of those good things. I usually keep 2 or 4 plates at a maximum. So the 2 plates, I think at the beginning of the year, are super perfect for them, because it's 2, it's easy to clean up, it's easy to count that you only have 2, easy for them to put it away with their labels, so that I have labels on here. And of course I would attach these. I actually also like to use real plates. I'm not my kitchen plates, but these are plates from the Dollar Tree. They're plastic, but I love the size of them. I think it helps for kids to really dive in and play pretend, but with things that they're familiar with or familiar sizes. I also think it's great for if your fruits and vegetables are a little bit larger, or things, they fit on the plate. Sometimes the plates that come in those, and we have a million of them at our school, they're little tiny plates and hardly anything goes in there. So sometimes that's great. If that's what you have, that's great. But if you want to take it to the next level, maybe start getting things that are actual sizes that the kids might see in their house or in the store or at a restaurant. And I'm going to share a few tips in here of where to find those. This is from Home Goods. Listen, it's $3.99 at Home Goods, but these are in the party section and they're plastic. They're not as durable as these, but I like to use them in my sets, and I'm not so worried if they break or crack. And you know, if they crack, we just throw it away. And sometimes that leads to really good discussions about really being careful with our materials. And like I said, I only put 2 in there. So this one I think has 10 in it. Yep, so it's 10. So I have spares to use at different times of the year. Also, because I've been doing dramatic play for a while, I actually love to get plates that match my themes. I do this in my own home with real plates. So I have all the seasonal plates. I have Easter plates, Christmas plates, Halloween plates. I have them all. It's not my husband's favorite collection that I have, but I do. So if I'm doing that at home, why am I not doing it in the classroom too? So these are also, I believe I found these at Home Goods after Easter sale, and I use this with my pancake set. So I actually just pop them in there and they're in there, and then I don't have to read through all the other materials and say, oh, I got to get the plates out. I have to get the napkins out. So if I have the restaurant, it's in the restaurant pile and they match, and I only put 2 in there. Also because my table is really small. I start learning how to, not that many kids could fit into the dramatic play area, so maybe I need to go play somewhere else and then I'll come back here later, or I know it's going to be open. Also do that with silverware. This is the silverware from the Dollar Tree. I love these because, first of all, they're $1.25 or whatever now. They look more like silverware. They're not those teeny, itty bitty ones. If they break, again, it's a discussion that we have. I throw it away and I buy a new set. I will leave out just 2 for them 2 in the box. On the other side of this, I have the labels so they know the spoons are going there and stuff. So they're going to practice with those labels. Just remember to keep it minimal at the beginning of the year. Don't put all the things out. Mistake number 3 is focusing on the theme rather than focusing on the lesson you want to teach through dramatic play. Starting off the year, your goal or your objective lesson should be learning how to play in the dramatic play center. Now, with that, you have to also remember this is a good time for you to start thinking, especially if you're not in the classroom yet. You want to think about how you are going to manage this. So you're going to do a little bit of prep work, a little bit of homework before you set up how you're going to set up your dramatic play center and before you introduce it to your class. You're going to need to make some decisions on how is the dramatic play going to be organized. Are you going to have kids just come and go? Are you going to have a clip system? Are you going to have, like, I've seen people put Velcro on the wall to let people know how many people can be in your dramatic play area. You need to do what works best for you in your classroom and with the size of your class, your physical space that you have, as well as your age group level. So another thing to think about before you're setting up is not only how many people are you going to allow in that area, but what are you going to do if it's very, very crowded? You need to do some switching out. Like, are you going to have a timer for them to switch out? Are you just going to kind of monitor and say when they can move? Again, it will depend on your class and how you can function as a teacher in the class. Sometimes that's too chaotic for people, and it's okay. That's okay. Some people are more like, oh, well, we'll just figure it out as go. That's okay too. So do what works best for you. Another big one to know is the cleanup routine. Cleanup routine is really important, but you do have to teach your children how to clean up their toys. I think this is a mistake that sometimes we just forget. Like, you have to bring it down to the easiest level for them. So you need to model while you're introducing the dramatic play center. I would suggest that you don't open your dramatic play center the first few days or first day, depending on your age group. Then play with some of the other centers first. You know, maybe keep it easier, set it off for the second day or the third day to introduce it. Once you start introducing it to them, you also need to talk to them about where they're going to put things and how they're going to clean up. Definitely role playing is important. Like, if you don't want them throwing food, then you need to make sure that they're not throwing food. And I also think the introduction of the dramatic play center doesn't just happen once. It happens several times the first few weeks because you really want it to be the right way. For instance, every time we had food out, it would end up on the floor. And I'm like, do you see food on the floor in your kitchen? Maybe they do, but hopefully they don't see like bananas all over the ground. For some reason, my class this year would always put the food on the floor. And it would just like be all over the floor. Same thing with plates and things. The plates don't go on the floor. We put them on our table. You know, the utensils, they don't go on the floor. They go on a table. I promise you, if you teach them that things have a specific place to go and a special place, and that's the place that they're supposed to be, it will help you throughout the whole year of keeping it organized and neat. So when you change it out and you have lots of different things, they're going to be looking for labels and finding where things go. And that's just a lifelong skill for everyone. Those are mistakes that we are definitely going to avoid with the beginning of the school year. So remember, 1, find something that is familiar with your students. Put away all those things and just take out a few things. Focus on the age group that you have and how many things that they can manage and how many things they will have to clean up, because that's really the biggest thing you're looking at, is how many things are out and how much you're going to have to clean up with the time that you have during the day. So keep it simple. And last, focus on the lesson of playing in dramatic play. Then when they know it and they have practiced it and doing a great job, that's when you can switch it up to new themes that can bring more experiences and adventures for the dramatic play area, which will in turn have more learning and growth happening with your little ones. And don't forget to check out this dramatic play set. It is a freebie, so check the link below and get yourself prepped and prepared. And as always, I'd love to hear how it's going for you. Remember, every day is a great day to play and learn.